but I'm feeling so good, like I own the whole food. I'm not gonna put on a t-shirt today. Be like it's guitar today. I make her smile, I make her laugh, laugh, laugh. I make her dance, I make her wine, wine, wine. If you feel like getting down, down to me, girl. Feel like touching down, dance to me, girl. I'll make you want me, make you want me, make you want me. I'll make you smile, I'll make you feel nice. After that, I'll take you to my place where we will play, but before we play, yeah, yeah, yeah. Feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, boca, 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 boca. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, boca, 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 boca. You and me, we rule the world. We're gonna make them jump. We're gonna make them dance. Come on, jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Jump, jump, jump. If you're feeling good, if you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, the jump dance, the jump dance, the jump dance. Hey, hey, the jump dance, the jump dance, the jump dance. Hey, hey. Jump, jump, jump. If you're feeling good, boca, 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 boca. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, boca, 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 boca. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. If you're feeling good, boca, 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 boca. If you're feeling good, jump, 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 jump. You're feeling good. Good morning, my people. How you doing today? Mwasuze otia. Mwasuze gudu 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 gudu.
This moment is a flower. This moment is a planet tilting. This moment won't last, it'll be out of our grasp fast. This thing you call the present is already past. Money, 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 and don't you know the life goes? Yeah, you gotta step into the flow.
Well, good morning, my people. How you doing today? Today is random talk, random cat talk Thursday, guys. Inachintu chomanyi osuubirante tukimanyi about cars. Tell it to us and don't be shy. Every one of us knows something that other people don't know about cars, either about a specific car or about cars in general. Share with us that secret that you think we don't know, or it might be something that you think we ignore. Tell us something that you think we don't know. Nange ndio Kenzi Jemba Bwire, what happened with the inspection yesterday?
For the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to rims of patrol. Previous teams, she break it down. Helping every drummer in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars, Uganda. Welcome to the road, and we're out the misty soul. For the love of cars, Uganda. On the streets, the story is right. Old and new, they shine with pride. Toyota, Nissan, Benz, or Mazda. Break it down, no propaganda. Every papa's got a tale. Really try to see the scale. Talk the truth, not just a brand. For car lovers across the land. For the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to rims of patrol. Previous teams, she break it down. Helping every drummer in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars, Uganda. Pre-purchase checks, we lead the way. Track your car, no games to play. Restore the past, drive into tomorrow. We bring the love, not just the horsepower. Is it a no or a TX5? We'll show you what's real, not just a hype. Styling views and engine rolls. We teach you more than just photos. We can tools from the basics up. Trucking gear and car gear stuff. If you're new or a season vet, for the love of cars, you ain't seen nothing yet. We didn't learn it, driving proud. This is more than just machines. It's the love, the life, the dream. Oh. For the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to rims of patrol. Previous teams, she break it down. Helping every drummer in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars, Uganda.
Good morning once again. I hope you guys slept well. Today is a sunny day. I think the rain is over. The rainy season was short. I think in December it rained for like 4 days. Speaking like a person that harvests rainwater, I think it did not rain enough. Lawrence Omule, good morning. Yusuf Magara, Kasuri Ramadan, Bennett Musafiri, Alcam Timo, K. Jovan, Project Thaik, Lucky Mose, Council Patrick Kasiku, Karim UG, Peter Mangeni Petero, Nuwaha Norman, Chris Fitness Duburwa, Mirembe Peruth, Peter Tusime, Project Thaik, Such Events, Nima, Ricky Chikawa,
Brian Tumwine, Kabale Emmanuel Balvids. Good morning, guys. Tell us, Osipankunda, yes, tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. You know, we seem like we know stuff, but there are things we don't know. There are things we don't know. Like, you didn't know the person can overtake the hill? Yeah, this is so rubber. Good morning, Chairman Zach. Yes, and the rich people who never miss a YouTube broadcast. Yesterday we bought a Vanguard, and if you read the inspection report, I'm trying to refine my inspection reports a little more. If you read the inspection report from the Vanguard, almost everything I'm going to say is in that report. Almost everything. Okay, when I'm writing, I think I need a bit of detail. That's why you guys don't like to send texts. Some of you guys like to send voice note. One way I'm a voice note, nemuga take a so take a consultation fee, then we talk. If you take a consultation fee, Nadam na pays a voice note, sigenda jiwuliriza. Sigenda jiwuliriza. Kubachi yangambye in the first voice note clearly calls for them to pay me some consultation. But I won't listen to that second one. Jokabali, good morning. Kandabe, guys, tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. A significant number of people don't know baptism of cars and its implication. Okay, baptism of cars. Why council? Tell us about baptism of cars. I did not know. The way the only thing I've seen that is baptized is the aeroplane. When a new plane comes to the airport, they baptize it. Baptizing Uganda Airlines. I saw them baptize them, but are cars baptized? Has any of you guys ever baptized the car? Council Patrick, do you baptize your cars? Me, I have never baptized the car. Omuyayi aparkinze ali mu kwogera ku ssimu. Muba guy, I have never baptized the car. Tell me about that. Will you baptize with what? With the holy water? With the muzigo guante? You baptize with what? I didn't know cars have specs depending on market requirements. A similar car can be made for both African and European markets. Yet they have different specifications and quality. Definitely, yes. There are, for example, markets that require specific emissions, and other markets don't require specific emissions. Yeah. There are some markets that require air conditioning, and of course there are some markets that don't require. Like when you're looking at Subarus, for example. Let's talk about the Forester. The Thailand market, they have heated seats both in the front and in the back. The Japanese market, Subaru Foresters have only in the front, which together. So it depends on where that particular thing is going. When I didn't traveling, I bought. Remember the QWERTY keyboard Samsungs? Smartphones I in Nigeria said they were trying to cause operating system. But there was this BlackBerry was still a thing. So I bought a Samsung that had a QWERTY keyboard, and it was really nice. I bought it from Belgium, and it was really nice. Of course, the simu zebi said and at that time the QWERTY keyboard here was too expensive and it looked fake. It was really light. But me, I got myself a QWERTY keyboard phone from Belgium, which was really heavy. The build quality is something else. So yes, even cars have specs. Like you can imagine. Do you think you can find taxi in Belgium? But if you're going to do taxi, you have to buy a car that was manufactured from the factory for doing that particular kind of work. But for us, we do it here. We clearly bring a van that was meant to deliver fruits, and we put seats in there, and our government is okay with it. Right? Instead of look at the buses we have. So different markets, In East Africa, we can, I think in Africa generally, we can have buses that are unsafe like that. But in other markets, you can't have buses that are not safe. Good morning, Abaka Jabaka Ingira Paul Sema VIP, good morning. Warren Diabawe, good morning. Say Wanyonyo de on that inspection report. Yeah. I want to be able to give you inspection reports nga buli kamoka soma n'okategeera nga neyabadde mu field nga tukola inspection addamu n'agisoma naga so this is why this happened, because sometimes I do things and maybe oyina ekimubuuka at the moment. George Sekubuge, good morning. After baptism in cars like the truck you inspected. Okubatiza. Okay, guys, for the people that have not understood baptism in cars, emoroka gye babatiza Sudani bangi wano. Sudani yambadde akateeteeyi akamasaamasa mukalabye. A baptized car is a car that has been given the credentials that are not its for itself. Oh, awoluzungu lutabuseemu. But I know you get my point. That someone gets I've seen it even with double cabins. But you know, these days it seems like URA even allows changing of chassis numbers. That's what I've had. But anyway, a baptized truck, someone gets a canter and get wojira abwekirira. Najibatiza najifunira omuntu omulala najifunira chassis endala. Kwegamba oba nagula emmoroka eyo nga teyina biwandiiko nagiwa ebirala. It is illegal as per my knowledge. It is not allowed. You cannot transfer a logbook or a number plate from one car and put it in another. It's illegal. But baptizing, that's what Council Patrick is saying. Mr. Arthur, do we have Chira buses? Yeah, the Chira buses are here. Chira makes very good buses, by the way. And they even test drive them. By now, the truck will navugira pichi, if you guys remember. Chris Fitness Agamba, the manufacturer sometimes even releases cars with the logo of the biggest local dealer. Exactly. At Chira inzo kwagala okola ebu maika, niye genda okulaba nga senga bagenda ne bakwatagana ne Toyota ne babawa paso. It makes sense. So they just go into a deal with Toyota. And Toyota makes parcels with the Chira EV branding. And just like that, Chira EV starts manufacturing small cars. So guys, tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. Tell us something. Do those Chira cars go through crash tests? No, I've not seen a crash test by Chira EV. But do the buses you people take when you're going to your villages go through crash tests? The crash test is the real crash. That's when the owner looks at his bus and say, abana bekatwe bano bakola bus girabe obugumu esa abantu banaboka. Those are the actual crash tests in Uganda. When you guys get involved in an accident and 10 people survive, the owner of the bus says, yeah, we have saved 10 lives. I know it's not funny, but yeah, that's what happens. Guys, tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. New Toyota Rumion is a Suzuki Estiga and the Urban Cruiser is Suzuki Grand Vitara. Munangi, Toyota yagula Suzuki kati bagenda batutetenkanya. The Toyota Rumion, the new Toyota Rumion looks ugly. Neno yenyini si enungi wadde mujagala. Guys, did you know that the new Toyota Rumion is the Suzuki Etiga, not Estiga? Lagita Etiga. Etiga. Suzuki Etiga. And the Urban Cruiser is the Suzuki Grand Vitara. No! The Grand Vitara is taller. Jesse, the Grand Vitara is taller. The Urban Cruiser is shorter than the Grand Vitara. That's a... Jesse. So when Toyota manufactures parts for Chira, would that be a work for Chira? Yes, it would. And for us as car owners, we don't care. Okitegeera fenga abavuga emotoka, we don't care as long as the parts are available. All they have to tell us in the market is that, let's say bakaise Chira Paso, Chira Paso agamba Chira Paso shares spares with Toyota Paso. Tugenda okugira some Chinese vehicles waliwo bivani byaba China ebyo ebiringa, waliwo bivani byaba China ebiringa taxi bisharinga engine ne kigege wa Subaru abadde ki. Subaru abadde ki. Mr. Arthur, here in Bahrain we have 0 mileage cars and classic ones, classic cars or vintage ones. They are not that expensive in terms of importation. Na hii ni UG. Anti kati UG tetubikiriza ebyo. Fe tulina amateeka nafaga tufuga. Arthur, I think all cars are almost the same. It's only the mindset. Almost, yeah, almost. But cars are different. Some cars have better designed interiors. Some cars have better designed exteriors. Some cars have better suspension. Some cars have longer lasting engines. Some cars, here companies drive buses 5 years, then they take them back, they give them new ones and pay some money. Na ye wafi. Avai. Toyota makes similar cars like the Probox and Succeed, Vanguard and RAV4 Primo and Allion in different consumers. For different, yes, in different markets, they call these cars something totally different. Good morning, Samuel Ntale. Guys, so yesterday, we bought a Vanguard, and it's a gentleman contacted me about 5 days ago, and he said, Arthur, I want to look for a Vanguard at 35. Now, Vanguards are very rare cars. I told him, I don't know if we're going to get a Vanguard at 35. At that time, one of you guys here had sent me a Vanguard, and you said you wanted 38, and I told you 38 might be too much because it was a UBD. So yesterday when we finally met, the gentleman came with his dad. The gentleman came with his dad, and unokamalo mugoba oyo mugobedde ddala tajja kudda. Good morning, Alcam Timo. So when we met, the gentleman phoned me at my office and he said, you know what, I came with my dad, we're going to find him ahead. And I told him like I normally tell you. Now this is what happens normally when I'm dealing with mature people, like let's say men in their 50s and 60s. Normally they don't trust us at all, so they normally give me trouble. They want to pay me after I've done inspection. And me, I've had trouble with those old men. Oruma ayagala boba inspection mujikoledde sawa 2 akutolereko emitwalo nga 15 gyaba akuwa. I don't work like that, and I'm telling you guys, abagenda okujja ne bazeeyiba mmwe sente zange za inspection ezimujjeeko. I don't want to be explaining myself to someone. So I was there explaining myself why I do. The son understands how I do what I do. Nenga nyina okwennyonnyole wa muzeeyi lwaki nkolanga bwe nkola bw'atandise okunkatiba ononziba. You get So I almost stopped mbagambe mugende sijja sobola kola inspection yammwe because I was explaining myself too much. But even before we start looking at cars, me, I'm already spending money. But people don't actually understand that. So eventually he gave me the money while saying small words. I understand him. So eventually we went, and as we were going, I explained to them that I don't know a Vanguard at 35, which is totally true. And I told the gentleman, you know what, I only know 2 options. One of the options was the option that was given to me by one of you guys here, a guy called Philip Arthur. Yampedeze muluka nagamba jitula 38. Nga 38 mungi because it was a UBD. So I told the gentleman, I have only 2 options in 35. You're either going to increase your budget or we look at those 2 cars and retire. Nakati olaba, that's why you're asking for money before. Yagala kunziba. Mugamba nedda nkubuulira amazima because me, I normally tell you guys the truth. Emmotoka bwe ziba ziwerayo eza 35 ziba gyeziri. Bwe ziba teziwerayo okitegeera So I say, let's go. But if you guys, I'm sure you can increase some budget. Then if those cars that we look at are not good, the two, then we can look at other options. Nenga Jukira, even the one that Philip sent me, he said 38. Now, we went to look at the first car because I wanted to go to Nakawa first and see if there are some. Then there's a broker that was taking us to a car that we went to see to Kajansi. So we drove to Kajansi up to the airstrip there. And so as we were waiting for that particular car, so because as we were going, I was calling Philip and he wasn't answering. So eventually, and now I don't normally do that, but I was doing it because I had called and there was no Vanguard that was less than 40 according to my phone call. So Philip's Vanguard looked like it was a heaven sent. Nengi nambi iranka de UBD banka doji gula mili asatumu mukag asatumu monana I mean. So we drove, and as we were waiting, Philip finally called me back and I said, good guy, twagala kugula moroka yona itokwata simu. So and then I asked him, where is your Vanguard? I want to know if it's not the same Vanguard we are at. And he said, is it in Kajansi? And when he told there near the airstrip, and I said yes. So then I told the people I was with about the Vanguard. The broker was taking us to the same Vanguard that Philip was selling us to. And then when we reached the ground, it was actually at 37 million shillings, not 38, which is okay. So I test drove the car, put a diagnostic machine, and I discovered it had a bit of faults. The owner later on knew the faults. The front shocks would have required replacement because the driver's shock was blown. We had some few things that were squeaking in the suspension, front suspension, that required replacement as well. And then also the car, instead of the the crankcase, the oil pan, basi bayo musumali niyo musumali guleka gwali gwana benjura nga bateka silicone. So those were the major repairs that car needed. Kati tugenda okubalabala munga ayinza okwetaaga like $1 million to work on those repairs. Ayinza obutawera 1 million naye nga ziri awo. But also the car was an old car, UBD. It had clear wear that atenga bwobalabala mu resale value begenda kukuba mu kubimoroka ebankadde. So we the buyers and the seller sat in the car and they negotiated. The seller was offered 36, which she refused. She said, you know what, I need to talk to my husband first. But you guys that are corporate, bachi mutwepankirako mugana mutunula mulanga fa batayina mu yadda amagezi olwokuba gwe oli mu office. Charles, but you people, you're putting me musanze ku mulimu. Ngane kati bwoba otunde moroka nga you can reserve like 10 minutes abantu bakibere ku moroka yo kikyofiirwa nga mukambwe nnyo nno omukyala. So nze twatusooka negotiating and they were telling me after tugenda nembaga nze mbadde n'omukyala oyo nga test driving emoroka, the attitude nyinza obutagisoboka mugende mu negotiating. So she said she needs to talk to her husband. As we're talking to her husband, netukubako ewa bakuli. They told us one waliwo Vanguard UBL. Then another person in Nakawa told us there is a Vanguard still UBL. Naye bagigamba million 38. None yabadde agamba 38. Now, the one in Nakawa was a butter, bagireta for butter. Oli yalete moroka ye na yongerako sente bamuwa a newer car. Now, normally in such deals, the person that is doing butter has failed to sell the car because it's not normally in good condition. So they decide to do butter. It's normally the best way they can get rid of their car. So I told the buyers, because we were coming from Kajansi, so it was almost. But I said, you know what, let's first go to Bakuli because they have Bakuli, there are chances that it's in good condition. And by the time I was talking on because obudde bwinengeje budduka ovugira ova mu kibuga ogende Kajansi ovuge Kajansi oveeyo obudde buba butambudde. So we headed out to Bakuli and we test drove the car. I put a machine. Now the other UBD had errors. This one had no error at all with the diagnostic machine. And test driving it ng'ekintu ekikoona kiri mu shoko y'emabega side ya passenger. And I suggested that both shocks be replaced. That's literally the only repair that car needed. It looked better. It looked newer than the UBD. and they were a tie. The seller accepted 36 million as offered. Jiba negotiating actually Saturday. I let them go to the car as I was looking for parking for my own car. So Nebasanga Mukubo for test driving. So when we realized this car would actually work, I test drove it again, just to make sure that we are not tetukola error. And it checked all the boxes, and yeah. So we headed out to the bank. These days I encourage people that are buying cars to pay the sellers in the bank. Or if the seller can go to the bank, receive their money, give you your agreement there and your car, it's a better thing. So normally I encourage that. So the seller came, found us in the bank, received his money, signed our agreement, and of course now the Mzee was very cautious about the transfer. Kuba transfer zedda zabanga zampapulanga mujjuzaamu na peni ndoza yewe yabeerera because he used to work in URA. Era omutabani yazinanga Arthur Mzee yali very abeera agenze n'agira transfer form n'ayagala n'okwekyanga aveewo ne mugana ebyo bintu olina okutegeera nti abantu empapula bazifulumiza mu computer sizezedda. So Mzee called a friend in URA and the friend over the phone was helping us verify the papers. Wano waliwo kino olina omusajja wannuwo omulaba oba avuga atya emmotoka kati azzeemu n'atomera olidde bampa eyagala kuvaako endabirwamu erimu enjatika. You guys buli bw'osanga ng'emmotoka ng'erabika bubi manya omuntu nannyiniyo avuga bubi. Girabe yonna bwefaana. God of course n'obukadde enkadde naye era avuga bubi okitegeera. So anyway he verified the paperwork. Nabadde mugambye aleke bali bamukolere transfer gwe aleme kwetawaanya, but he decided he would take the transfer forms himself, transfer gye malire. So they gave him the papers. The transaction was completed, and I gave them a driver to take them because they did not have a driving license. The son did not also have a driving license, so I gave them a driver to drive them home. And by that time, I think it was around 4:30. I'm glad I got to serve. You people that come with your fathers, it's mostly the men that are normally troublesome for me. But the men are too cautious. I think abasajja tubbiwa nnyo. But I think you guys have to accept nti Arthur sente zaze kwata tanagenda kutandika kola inspection. Ekyo tukikirize tuleme kukikayaniramu bwonga Arthur toyagala mu sente za inspection katanatandika. Don't hire him for inspection. It's not being disrespectful to your parents, but that's how I work. Sagara kutuka nga mazokola atoberenga gwa nyamba okunsasula, because that's how Ugandans can be. Muna Uganda bwatakusasula nga tonnakola omala okukola n'atandika okwegayiriza kati yo navaayo kati, because by tutandika tutinga tutandise okukola ki tutandise spending. So anyway, that was the inspection from yesterday. We bought the Vanguard at 36 million shillings. I'm actually thinking the guys that want 7-seaters ngozagala mu SUV, the Vanguard is a very good. Of course the Outlander nungi, but don't buy the Outlander if the Vanguard is there. Ochitegera, don't buy the Outlander. The Outlander is going to uno wanu era assembled avuga bubi obala okuba ekimotoka kikadde akikooye ate ono mulala nina kyo kirabika bubi okubira ku UBR nga emotoka erabika eti omuntu amataala gonna yagassaako dda stiika. So anyway guys, tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. Arthur, we need some classes with URA tunyonyole why taxes so high. Imagine buying a mega tent of 12 by 25, approximately 70 to 80 million, shipping inclusive, and you are charging 150. Mumulinde kati bagenda tusako omusoro gwa YouTube. Ante kasuku yagaye president tukola million 3 buli mwezi. Nze YouTube empe emitwalo 15 ennyingi zibampa ndoza zibe emitwalo nga 35. Kati nze simanyi kasuku million 3 azikola ddi. Okitegeera sente zenfuna ku YouTube tezigula na data gwenkozesa kola live broadcast. Kati nze simanyi kasuku ddirwa akola million 3 omwezi. I think people go and get excited and they start talking. That's why I don't want to go to people bentya. Otukayo n'otandika okwesekereza. Simanyi bazibyewo wano. Otandika okwesekereza oyo wa taxi alabika dduka bipapula. N'otandika okwesekereza oyogedde ebitalina mutwe na magulu. ate nga naye naye essatu alabika taziweza. Okitegeera kati alabika Kasuku zino sente zakola ebbalibbali ezo zisukka ne miliyoni 3 kati ndoza ye yasaze nako n'agamba kamugambe tukole miliyoni 3. So anyway, omusolo ogwo buli kintu ekiri mu profit URA yo erina goal ya kujjayo as much tax as possible. I read something about BMW. They patented the screws bakoyeba makanika abeeyo okusumulula emmotoka zaabwe, what everything to be done at their dealership. Yeah, that's something. It's quality control. Nti mugenda mugaya emmotoka za BMW si mpangazi ninga makanika bamwe beebonoonye. It's possible, but that only works in cases where you buy your car 0 mileage nga you can still take it. Naye kati omuntu importing the motoka agirese Kampala kati where is the dealership of BMW? Era makanika afe bagenda gitetenkanya. Old people need people who are calm. Me, I have to face them every day. Man, sibangu. Rumko, but I was calm. I was surprised even yesterday. Nanyonyode muzeyi. Nemunyonyola. Nentuuka ku breaking point. Nengamba muzeyi ono kati bwasukka ono ngenda parking abaveemu. Bagende banoonye mmoloka ku lwabwe. Ne muzeyi n'azijjayo nga bw'ayomba bw'azimpa bw'ayomba. Old people, most especially to us in events, you agree on something else and you will do this, then the mukolo day comes and they totally change to something different. Women are stingy and it's because of the hustle you pass through when making the money. Atholimba batugambye mufuna buwumbi nanse Teddy nze mbabuulira mazima. YouTube kakati YouTube nze mpe emitwalo 3 ate renfuna emitwalo 3 manya zentaddemu. I told you guys reviews cost me 200,000 because I need to pay people allowance for shooting. Zin costing emitwalo 2 emoroka je review nga ngisaamu amafuta olwe emoroka ogisanga eddugala ngo ino okujoza you get so kati gwe kyoba omanya buli review to costing emitwalo 2 you need to shoot and edit as well. Kati womala nokola review buli week nkola review 2. Someone actually told me Arthur okikola otya kati nze bwe ngatabu sente buno bwa inspection. I actually told people I did a lot of inspections last time. Ne batandika okumbalira sente ngaba n'abantu bamanyi nti ku sente zenkola za inspection kuvaako ezokola review kuvaako eza data kuvaako eza rent you get baru abantu bangi tebabala bintu ye bwakabala ka sente akabalanga bwe kali. I think even you are calculates the money like that. Okitegeera era senga nalite mwaite mumpa mirimu gya inspection I don't know how I'd be doing. Ate mu abalaba broadcast bulina ku mukimanyi we all spend 2 GB every broadcast kasa ewe at 1 hour. Arthur YouTube was mutwe ku sente eziriwa Kasuku ya getting excited na atuononera kati mwe mulinde UCC egenda kujjanga etisaba license miliyoni 10 buli mwaka mukirinde kuba kati Museveni agenda gabana abantu bakole miliyoni 3 ze miliyoni ziba miliyoni 3 mu kago omwaka agambi mutuweke 10 agaye mutuweke 10 za license jukiro already we are gundi aneno Ken Kariso wa NBS yagamba da UCC bana abantu bajje ko license bafutwala advertisers bafu. Brian Tumwine, which comment? Let me see. Arthur, did you know that the naming of some cars comes from those that designed them? Yes, thank you. Okay, that's something that we skip. Nti Lamborghini ne yaliyo. Yeah, bale. I think the person that designs the car kind of suggests the name, and if he's in good terms with the bosses take the name on. I think that's something that it makes sense. It's logical and makes a lot of sense. So guys, I've tried to write to URA, probably host someone from URA. It would be a very nice thing. Name on Nag. But what I very busy. Over an excitement. Guy yabugumye nnyo. Nayocha. Yayocheza nnyo. Ate kati okumanyanga yabugumye nnyo olwamazaawo n'afuna akalango. Kati yalina obulango n'abantu be. Naye waliwo obulango obutali bwangu nga balina okuwa sente eziwera. Kwobwo obulango nga balina okuwa sente eziwera. Nnyina kye neerabidde naye nja kikoledda. neka kirabika emoroka yabadde ya muzeeyi. That's why he had such a emoroka yo yabadde ya muzeeyi, naye from what I saw muzeeyi ye mwennyini yaŋŋambye emoroka eno ono omutabani yagenda obanga agivuga. Muzeeyi tavuga. I'm thinking tayagala na kuvuga because the son told me for all muzeeyi aleka ali in his 60s naye mutabani yaŋŋambye muzeeyi tabangako na moroka, nze namumatiza tugulemu. Muzeeyi alina ssente naye ndooza emmoroka taddangako n'akirowooza. He used to drive cars at work cars. Omanyi bano abazeeyi abaali nga big people in their organizations ng'abeera n'emmoroka y'omulimu, so somehow he never needed to buy a car. Era mutabani yaŋŋambye namala mwaka nga mulamba nga muzeeyi mumatiza tugule emmoroka, era emmoroka nze ngenda okuba nga ngivuga, okitegeera. So it happens emmoroka ya muzeeyi, ate ne bwetaali badde ya muzeeyi abeera protective of their children's money. Temujjukira muzeeyi oli gwe twagula, omukyala gwe twagula naye Mark X yali ayagala Subaru Impreza, eventually bought a Mark X. Era muzeeyi yabeerangawo nga he drove the daughter everywhere until eventually we decided on a car. Awo n'alyoka ajjamu enta. Omusajja oyo n'afocus tumuboole. I don't have a right to kuboola anyone. Omuntu gwembola ye muntu nga yali ankozeeko obulabe, oyo muboola ne bw'oba taata wange. Gwe kasita obanga wali ondazeeko ku mbeera embi nkuboolera ddala because omuntu asobola kukukyawa leero n'akwagala enkya, tekisobokerangako ddala. An enemy now is an enemy forever. Gwe otunulayo. So anyway guys, tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. Tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. It's important that we learn from each other, and me, I'm one person that believes that everyone knows something that we don't know. Everyone. Like for example, Chris agambye amanya olumugava kubazikwa abadde tumwine nti kati you ask yourself, Sahara, the name of the car, the truck Sahara lyavaawa, okitegeera, Fuso, Kanta, Elf, because abajapani tebamanyi Elf eri ya Father Christmas. Can you imagine where those names are coming from? Suzuki, or there is a guy called Suzuki, Escudo, Grand Vitara. Those are names suggested by people, and these people have philosophies as to why they are suggesting these names. I'm thinking about a name. Fielder, Granvia. Nego chi Granvia chimoroka chiri comfortable bulungi kirungi nnyo. Granvia chimoroka kiraba kiyita batya. Of course, there are names that make sense, like the Super Custom makes sense, the Land Cruiser makes sense, the Beetle, the Volkswagen Beetle makes sense, but the Caldina doesn't make sense. So definitely the name Caldina comes from somewhere, which other car doesn't make sense. Forester doesn't make sense to me, so definitely. Today is Thursday, twinechotosha abanakatemba. But now the event is actually sizisobolera kuddala. I think that's also one of the reasons why I can't do night events. Join the convention ya misa. Na the event kastay suka sawa mwe. Nda. Mbantan so switching off. So guys, tell us something about cars that you think we don't know. Akantu kafuusa akantu kati it's better tuongeze kasente ka inspection. I support 500k. Tugenda kulonda guys, tugenda kuddamu tulonda inspection fee. Nze abantu bange bemagamba sente za inspection athanga nyingi ngabagaba nange ezo sente za democratically elected for the love of cars. If people don't have matters to discuss with Muzei, let them just keep quiet. I also think they should. Mujukira lole yafe ijiragula milioni 10, twajugula milioni 15 12 ekyali mu workshop bakyagikola yesterday babadde baji weldinga luli bajiwanika bagiteka mu seprange egulu nagenze nenjala bwe twavudde ogule muruka ya Muzei. I went enjira banga bagikola welding kadero bagenda kugifuwa. Wemala okugifuwa egende sekatawa yagenda nogivuga egenda Kagadi lole yafe. those who say 450 is too much, they have not been with you mu inspection. At some point I feel like ogenda kusaba sente ndala. You keep spending throughout the inspection. Tell them Chairman Zach. Tell them zabantu mbagamba you're going to see the value of the inspection nga tutandisa actually kola. Because waliwo ebintu ebimove yowona gwengo omuntu. You see, when you're going to buy a car with Arthur, all you have to do is, because you know someone is actually doing the quality control for you, you don't have to actually do the quality control. But also going with Mzee for car inspection, it sounds like you're going for a speech day at school. No wonder. But then if it was Mzee's first car, why opt for an old Vanguard? Why not opt for a Bond car? Because 36 million could get a Bond car. Auntie Kim Job, some people want SUVs. Okay? Echokubidi Muzei, the fact that in only 60 years tiyagula motoka ngate centers Muzei ya inase, their conversations I had on the phone is kulaganda Muzei ya inase nukubai nebizimbe in one of the big towns bizimbe. So Muzei ya inase, the fact that in all 60 years what da inasente tiyagula motoka kitegeza yengo omuntu talaba mugaso gwachi gwa motoka kadi no mutabali na endoza nabalira wao naga nebo tunatuguze nkadi kala atise jja tukolera bye twagala. Muzei ate kukuba yadde wa kupushinga okukola ki bwekyomanya Muzei yagambye twatuse mu banka twagenze mu Centenary. Muzei n'agamba smart Centenary teyina sente. Simanyi omukyala wa Centenary akoza biki naye in actual sense Muzei yadde alinda transfer form. Ozegeera bali abantu bajjemu ne transfer form nga Muzei tannabawa yadde ekikumi just to settle Muzei's mind ne bazireeta form ate be bazireese ne basooka bamunnyonnyola like we spend like an hour and a half ku bank ne bayeta transfer form ne batuka basoko munnyonnyola n'amalo kuba mu URA basoke bakole ki ba verifying ente the transfer form nali okajjayo sente mu banka. Era bwe yamaze verifying transfer form sente zamaze yadde dakiike 10 ngaze nabadde ngeze nga ntumiza ne ku chips bwanko ka restaurant awo omwana ne mulayisa dakiika 10 nezo dakiika 2 nga tanaleta chips. Nze nadde manyi Muzei engeri gyayizenda na sente zadde teziremedde Muzei yadde akoze ka trick amale kula transfer form verifying ente moroka ddala agiguze bu chips bwange mancha abulinze nti tutte mu ka restaurant nga sazawo neteekemu ku sente. The people that have done inspections with us will realize that ebisere mtu tusibe njala nabo. So ntudde ninzo ne bankubira nga why Muzei bamaliriza n'okusasula nyine engeri gye nadduse mu restaurant awo mpola swiftly kuba be baluddeyo ne tugenda. Arthur, you said that the buyers had no driving license. How are they going to do it? Now they are going to work on the driving license. Kati moroka naye ate moroka bwebera ku kyalo abantu bangi bavuga moroka ku kyalo nga tebalina driving license. Ostegira ate Muzei kati ngoyo Muzei engeri sente gye ziriwo ku kyalo avuga kera ne batamukwata kuba sente weziri. Kati omutabani yagenda Muzei tebajja mu driving license nga bwe namulabe tebayinza mu license okujja nga agifunidde waka naye omutabani bajja muwa ina license wana Muzei wanagifunye yina better restrictive mu. Well, you guys know that the driving license, when a driving license for example, it can restrict you by restrictions you know physically disabled katinze nzinganze mba physically munange nze mbera physically disabled era batekako physically disabled corrective lenses ostegira kati wawe bakizo okuvuga with prosthesis ostegira kati munange kati Muzei w'emyaka enkaaga okujonga license yagifuna dagenda ku renew winga naye era mugeze mwabatanafuna license nga muli myaka 4 mu 5 mugende mufuna license ojja tuka ku myaka 5 nga balina ku kasoko emire kuguru kumu naye Kasoko has been saying that he makes 3 million at Ricky. The problem is not Kasoko saying he makes 3 million plus. The problem is him going and saying fanga abavubuka tukole million atogerera ngani nze nkola emitwalo 25 ku YouTube ate olumuti zijja na kujja lwaki YouTube nze najiwa limitation empereza $10 bwe ziba tezinawera emitwalo 38 kitegeza guno omwaka ne bwenkola 2 balindako ne ziwera $10 ne bali okabampereza kitegeza nze bwenkola emitwalo 23 sente nzifuna mu myezi 3 kuba lwe ziwera $10 ontegeera kati the problem Kasoko gye yakoze kwegenda n'atwogerera atenzo already nsasula omusolo I file returns era ne inspections za mwezo muziraba I deduct sente zenkozesa amafuta zendiddeko ne sente zempadde makanika sente zisigalawo nensasulako 30% income tax era ku ezo nenkwata neza YouTube zenkoze ogwo omwaka nenzigatta ku wali I deduct 30% nensasula. You are enji w'omusolo. Kati Kasuku ayinza oba yabadde tasasula musolo, and it's very possible nti Kasuku abadde tasasula musolo kati bagenda naye mugoberera era kati alina kuba careful. Bagamba bamutaddeko amaaso. I think n'obulango ensonga lwaki yabututte. Richard Damulira, hi Toyota fan cargo. Guys, leave inspection fees alone. Lawrence byamukama. The people that buy cars tugenda kulonda. You guys call for support. There is an assumption that fuel in cold weather is cool and condensed, but in hot weather the fuel expands, so you get more fuel in the cold weather. I think in a way I buy that thing. Me these days I take fuel only at night. At night sawa satu yonyeji ulinywa mafuta. We cannot prove it. We cannot. But we know petrol budget evaporates. What if we get some air in the pump? What if? So we cannot prove it. We cannot prove it. But why take the chances? So I only take fuel at night. That assumption we might not know, but I'm not going to take chances. Tadema Samuel, good morning. Nangi nzikula watuonya field ya for weed. Katina ateno Kim Job, there is one of you guys here. Twali na inga tugule moroka. Nga tunonya wish. Nemuga na eba achite tuguze wish new model. Nga atasagala mabanja. You need to buy and tufuna wish. There was a 2-wheel and a 4-wheel. The 2-wheel was more expensive than the 4-wheel. Then I told him, yes, the 2-wheel is more expensive, but why don't we buy the 2-wheel? Na abuza 4-wheel yongera ko chimuka teina nnyo kyamanche yongera. Ole tukule bwe yatuko okutunda wish ye ne bamuseera nti olwokuba 4-wheel yakubiranza atha wankoze senso bine tugula 4-wheel njagadde nkwe feedback ne mwana mukulu. Do you actually, before I answered him, I called the mechanic gwe nakola naye ko ne mugana ye kino ekintu ky'omwami ono ekya 4-wheel nganzi jukira bidala ngambe nze namuguza 4-wheel nagamba atha me I remember very well omwami oyo wamugamba agule moroka ya 2-wheel wadde yali ya bei naagaana nti ya 4-wheel tayina nnyo kyeyongera munenziramu ne mukwe mugana yejjukira bwe twali tugule moroka eyo. I remember I discouraged you from buying the 4-wheel and you bought it because it was cheaper. Okitegeera And also the other thing I reminded him, emoroka bwe yali agitunda wishi agitunda mu olitiriti mangu. The people abakugula ko emoroka bakulaba agency joina ne banoonya n'ebibi bibala bayinza okuyita ebibi ku moroka yo. Okitegeera ekyo ne kikuseeza naye bwe kyali badde si kibi bwoba papa n'ekirungi basobola guys emoroka esobola okubanga nga kana akantu kavuddeyo kana akokupiira kana ka plastic kano nga kavudde nga tekayina buzibu naye olwokuba otunaga kana akantu lwaki kaavaayo emoroka erabika erimu ekigo lwaki kaavaayo eyabaga mwajo replacinze tekyali ku original nga akuseerera olwokuba papa. Bro, when you get to compare Toyota Prius giving you 17 to 20 kilometers per liter and Paso Sete which can give you, Paso Sete cannot give you 17 to 20. Guys, Paso Sete cannot give you even close to what I get in my Prius. Actually, there is no normal fuel car that can give you what my car gives you. Katemba Gambe, it gives me 17. Kati esawe no, I'm getting 18.5 right now. On Monday I was getting 20, but because kati when parking the car is running, nze bino bien parking emoroka nesigalangi running abye bintwala 18 17. If someone drives normally the way you drive your normal cars nga bwatuka wajiranga azikiza if someone drives the car normally like that, this car can give you 20 and above. But nze ntuka ne parking nesigalanga si nako wembere mbi ate kati kenda tegedde tirande dambali ya milioni 3 ongamba ki ngateso wanokanikane mulino nga lifudde my car will run. Kati let me tell you, Paso Sete will give you 12 ngovuganga bwenvuga ate bwoba otuuka n'otazikizanga atha egenda kuwa 9. So guys, don't compare hybrids to cars that are not hybrids. Okujjako nga yo hybrid has a problem. You cannot compare a hybrid vehicle to a non-hybrid vehicle. Don't even think about it. And they are not. The Paso Sete is 35 million these days. Mubondi mbadinga mpitamuga tugenda inspecting 35. Paso Sete made sense a long time ago when it was 26. We used to buy 26 million. But 35, why would you buy the Paso Sete 35? Ochegera. Richard Aki, hi. The inspection fee is really worth it. nze neyagala bweyagazi Amina Armstrong watuonye rumioni ya success. Kagwa kiki kagwa oyogera biki ennaku zino abantu babasiba computer misuse govering oyogera bintu by'abantu nvaako kagwa naye nga thank you very much for the compliment. Kagwa akasimu aka flipping akundoza kagire mama abana yagala esimu e flipping ye tafaayo ayagala just kubeerako na simu e flipping atayagala zino Samsung ezebbeeyi ayagala kali akasimu buli oba Nokia oba flipping enda kamugulira musajja atavere naja namukwana namwaka kasimu aka flipping ne kafuuka ensonga akampa Alan hi yes we can't but in hot weather amafuta gadduka observe and see 500k is fair surely guys leka twaga webali nnyo Kim webali nnyo naye ateekayo mulonde naye mukulu Arthur is it normal for a filler to give you 8 to 9 kilometers per liter because of SC yet it was giving me 13 yes it's possible anti kati if you're driving a car with SC nga ne mujjamu obeeramu SC nga tozikiza the engine running kati nga wano wetulinga the engine still runs kati saving up after because the engine runs for like 40 seconds 1 minute then it goes off netudda kulyanda. So in a way I save money, I save fuel like that. Hi Eddie Marvin, how is Lira? So 8 to 9 kilometers is completely normal with SC. Nze mathu wange namukola ngenda ogamba nti kati kangule hybrid nga ndaba ebyenjagala okweyagala muziri emmotoka endala sisobola kubyeyagala ne kati wano engine evuddeko tuli kulyanda ate nga liringa ku 25% naye gira ne charging up to 25% ngeje tatambula nzike nemeyagala mwenze toyinza sikyasobola mmotoka z'amafuta. Alcam Timo, you will vote guys. Munzikirize mbasibule. Thank you very much for being part with me, part of this broadcast today morning. And for the guys that have appreciated my service, thank you very much. Recommend more people. Tell your brothers and sisters to subscribe to this channel. We are looking for 100,000 subscribers so that we become even bigger than how we are right now. After talk about Sienta 2015. And Sienta 2015 waru hybrid, netally hybrid. Buy the hybrid if you can. Buy the hybrid. Guys, tell people to subscribe so that we make 100,000 subscribers. And also guys, let me remind you, I do pre-purchase inspection. If you're going to buy a car and you need someone to help guide you to make the right decision, I'm your man. I charge only 450,000 for a full day of inspection in the Kampala CBD. I do pre-sale inspection. If you have a car on sale, I inspect it, record the video, and also share the video with the public for them to call you directly. Now I've realized every time someone doesn't pay for pre-sale inspection, either abagiseera nnyo oba ebeeyina ebirumira. That's why. Hi Jovan, oli Nairobi? We are in Nairobi too. Hi the guys in Nairobi, hello. I also sell car trackers. Guys, put a tracker in your car. Nze ne stareti yange project kerimo tracker. I don't take any chances. That is protecting my gains. I also do a post-purchase evaluation if you bought the car but I did not inspect it. You bring it for me, I evaluate it, 250 only. Byonna byonna badde nkola luli kati mbikola at half the price because the motoka erimu atogindete. You bring the car to me, I don't come to the car. I also do ebiganye diagnosis, 300,000 for diagnosis. Kailex akaseko nakasekongo ka prompting zoloza kajja tekajja. Guys, thank you very much. Encha kuchimeza tulina chairman wa Online Drivers Association bamuyita Manyi Moses agenda kubeera kuchimeza nga atunyonyola how ride share apps work and how to make sense of the business. Yeah, hi Brian, nsabira nzije nkuwagira. Amina Brian, ogenda kujja mwenna mwina ogule mmoroka. Mwino gule moroka botagigula beera nga togiguze because you don't wanna. Naye mujja gule moroka. Guys, thank you very much. Kandabe. Lawrence Omule, Yusuf Lugonda, Kasule Ramadan, Bennett Musafiri, Alcam Timo, K Jovan, Project Thike, Lucky Mose, Karim UG, Council Patrick Asiku, Patrick Mangeni, Noaha Norman, Chris Fitness, Lubura Midembe Peruth, Peter Tusime, Starch Events, Nima Ricky Chikawa, Peter Tusime, Brian Tumine, Kabali Emmanuel Balvids, Osipankunda, Chairman Zach, Joe Kabali, Paul Sema VIP, Warren Diabawe, Council Patrick Nkumaze, Lawrence Biamukama, Katamba Isaac Katende, Yusuf Minaj, Musime Kim Job, Jesse Semo Gerere, Samuel Ntale, Alcam Timo, Dr. Kambesije VIP, Rama Charity Organizations, Romco Consult, Julia Sengoba, Balvid, Yusuf Minaj, Brian Tumwine, Ricky Chikawa, Richard Damulia, Rama Charity Organization, Pepe Rahim, Lawrence Biamokama, Kasule Ramadan, Talemwa Samuel, Richard Aki, Kawa Armstrong, Kagwa Dennis, Eddie Marvin, K. Jovan, David Chito Klaje, Amina. You'll install the skeleton for my FE 1.5 liter, but how much we need to talk? We can talk. Guys, abari mukamori, I don't take it for granted the guys that are watching this broadcast later on in the day. Kubamba manyi mujiraba. The broadcast njukora kumacha by evening ina views bitano. Thank you very much. Continue telling people about the channel. Let them subscribe. Community kure nyonyo. Temwera bide chimeza cha sawa olunaku lwencha. Yes, chimeza cha sawa emezo olweggulu. Tujja batandika. May the good Lord bless you. Ciao.